And so today we have a treat that we're going to have on an ongoing basis now, because I'm so excited to actually bring to you, as promised. And now time for the legendary Garage of RK88 and still full throttle. So welcome, RK. It's so good to have you on the Christian Car Guy Show.
Good morning.
Good morning. And RK is calling from beautiful downtown Kildee, North Carolina. Right?
Right, that's right. I didn't think of it that way, but that's correct.
Very few people may even have, but it's kind of between Siler City and Ramseur, or if you know North Carolina even better, and poor people in Iowa or Ohio this morning, it's just kind of central North Carolina. But anyway, RK, I have to do a little bit of an introduction, because this is one of the most amazing men I've ever met. He is, in fact, 88 years old, and his main form of mechanical work is he's a transmission mechanic. And so here he is at 88 years old. And I was over there Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, and he's working on a transmission on a big old four-wheel drive 4x4 Ford truck. Now, can you even imagine that he's in his garage by himself? And to say, but, talk about old school, as I said, when I was given that Model A that we've talked about before on the show, guess who got the Model A running? Because he worked on them and his family had one. And so everything from that, but now my current car is a hybrid Toyota, the word escaped me. Prius, right. And so here's all this technical stuff with this hybrid that, all these kinds of batteries and things. Again, RK didn't necessarily know that much about it, but fascinatingly, he learns still at 88 years old what he has got to do with this and that and the other. And so, RK, I couldn't be more excited to have you join the Christian Car Guy Show. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
And so I asked you to put together a little idea of some wisdom from RK of what are people missing when it comes to taking care of their cars.
Well, I was thinking about it, Robbie, the other day, and looking at cars on the highway. I noticed something. Some of the tires seem to be flat, and it's the radial design of the tire, and it's the low-profile tire looks flat all the time. So I want people to remember, check those tires. Years ago, you used to have the trucker get out with the hammer and hit the tire. And when you listened to the sound of the tire, he knew how much air it had in it. Well, we don't want to do that, but we want to check to see if those tires are up inflated. And saw two cars the other day, and I know that the right rear on one and the left front on the other one they're not up to par, but I don't know the people. You can't feel it. You can't hear it. You can't see it sometimes when you're driving or feel it with the radial tires. So I want people to remember that. Please check those tires. And it goes back to that little indication on the dash sometimes that has a little flat tire or a little yellow tire. Check. Don't let that go by. Check that. Make sure you check that. I'll tell you one reason why is that I had this problem happen to me. I had a 2012 Chevy Sonic, and I drove the car. It was perfect. I went down the driveway, do something, and the check tire light came on, and it's all right. I'll look at it later. I got back in the car, and 10 minutes later, I wanted to go somewhere, and the car went into fail-safe mode. And I said, what? And I then realized that tire indicator sent a code to the body control module, to the ECM, to the TCM, and told the transmission not to shift. So that is an indicator. Please take care of it. If it comes on, don't just say, it's no problem. Well, one of my friends, and I read it in the Gears magazine, which it's called the Transmission Bible. Anyway, they spent $50,000 on the $5,000 on a new transmission. The dealer did, and 2 months later, a month later, it wasn't working, and they couldn't figure it out. They spent all that money. Well, research came down to the tire indicator problem that it told the body control module. So that was a $5,000 flat, Bobby.
Let me slow down the conversation a little bit for those people who may not be familiar with some of the terms that RK used. So the beauty of the cars today is they have a computer that is going to monitor all sorts of different things in order to keep the car from self-destructing, right? That they didn't have in the old days. And so when RK said fail-safe mode, what that means is the car says, uh-oh, I have a problem. I'm going to make sure I get the owner's attention. If I won't shift into high gear, they won't be able to go very fast, and they'll probably have to take it somewhere to get it fixed.
That's right. Yep.
But the idea that and I didn't know that either, RK. So that tire light, that yellow light, when that comes on, it's very possible it's going to send that signal, like you said, to the body controller, and to the
ECM, TCM. It's on the late model cars, Robbie. Not the earlier ones, not 15 years, 20 years ago, but the late model. And a lot of people are driving these late model cars, so.
Oh, yeah. So we got to know just inquiring minds, but that is a great piece of advice. And for people that don't have that, still critical, because
it's those tires.
Yeah, if your cars are not well inflated, it changes the way the tires wear. It hurts your gas mileage. But it also puts additional wear on the axles and things like that, right, RK?
Correct. It does. If you get a flat tire, then that tire is not going around the same revolution as the other side of the car, so that's putting wear on that differential in the back. People don't realize that in the 4-wheel drive cars, you have to have the tires all the same size. You can't put an oddball tire on it because it's going to tear up the transmission, tear up the drive shafts or the rear ends. So that's
absolutely brilliant. So inquiring minds need to know. So at 88 years old, wait a minute, Bill has a question.
Yeah, I had my sensor tell me my tires were low, so I went and got them filled, and it beeps when it's got the right pressure in it. But after all 4 of them beeped, it was 2 pounds of pressure higher than it was supposed to be. And I've been wondering whether I should release a little bit from them or whether it really made that big a difference.
As long as they're all the same, in my opinion, you're
generally speaking, 2 pounds is not going to make a difference. 2
right.
pounds is not going to make that much.
2 pounds
difference.
high, 2 pounds low ain't good, but 2 pounds high.
2 pounds high won't hurt as much as 2 pounds low.
Thank you.
So, but my question to you, which I've never asked you, but at 88 years old, right, you're going to pull the transmission out on this Ford truck, which I know you've done. How in the world? I mean, by yourself in that shop, right? That transmission has to weigh what, 300 pounds?
Yeah, well, I have the jacks to hold it, Robbie. But the problem is that you get these cars that are 15, 20 years old, and you start taking the manifolds off to get the transmission out because it goes underneath the trans, and you can't get it down unless you take that out. And then you have the rusted bolts that you have to either cut off, take a blowtorch, or do something with. I ended up taking the manifold off because I couldn't get the one bolt out to get the exhaust down. So I had to cut it and then take the manifold off and repair it and put it back. So that's the hard parts about doing those transmissions. I love to do just the bench work, but sometimes I buy these problems, and I buy the cars with these problems because I love to fix them, Robbie. I
know you do,
them.
And that's see, RK's hunger. We've been talking about appetite, okay, and RK loves to buy a car that is what we would call a diamond in the rough. In other words, he knows that, a few at this and at that, and I hate we got to go, RK. We'll be back with the rest of the Christian Car Guy show, but our segment this week with the legendary RK and his 88 and still on full throttle is over for we'll be back next week with